Today I'm joined by my special guest and good friend Tanya Price. Tanya, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So Tanya is an actress, producer, as well as the owner of Queen Tutt Productions and senior vice president of Ascendant Studios Motion Pictures Corporation. Tanya is a multi-award winning international film producer, actress, and published model, and an international actress and model. In Nigeria in 2023, Tanya was proudly appointed Delta State Girl Child Ambassador, and we'll get you to expand on that a little bit later. I got to ask about that again. And Tanya's been published in over 20 magazines and has graced the cover of several of those magazines. She's based in the United States but loves to travel, and every time I text her, she's traveling internationally or somewhere. Her passport's always ready. In 2023, she set her own travel record by visiting 12 countries in 1 year, but anywhere with a beach is always her favorite. Tanya, again, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good.
Good, good. And so, Tanya, you've done a lot of things in your life in the entertainment industry, from acting to producing to now owning your own production company and the senior vice president of another. And so, what would you attribute to your success so far in the industry?
Patience.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm 3 years in, and you're, yes. I love it.
Yes, it's a long time in the making to, have those accolades and get to where I am, but definitely patience. A lot of hard work and patience.
Oh, absolutely. And so, tell us a little bit because, you just formed your production company, Queen Tut,
Mhm.
correct? All
Correct.
right. Yeah. Tell us about that. So, you have your own production company and
Mhm.
you're the senior vice president of another production company. And I know I've been hunting you down trying to get you to help my production company. So, how do you balance all of it?
I just do. I thrive in the chaos. I love it. It's in the periods where it's not chaotic that I start to get anxiety. Like if I'm not busy, that's just my personality, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I remember one time I texted you, and that was just recently, and was your exact response back to me
I
was
probably said, "I need a
I
project," like,
that's
yes.
what you said. Yeah, do you have a project because I am going stir crazy now.
I
Yeah,
do, I do. I love to be busy.
absolutely. And going a little off topic, and I know, we kind of talked a little bit beforehand, but tell me about the project I Love You. Now, that was a project that we had
Um,
at our film festival,
mhm.
and I don't know that there was a dry eye in the theater. And so, tell us about that a little bit. About the I Love You project.
That was such an amazing project to be a part of. I'm so grateful that I was cast in that to be a part of it and to learn about this organization. And it was kind of a topic I hadn't really known much about. I mean, I'd heard the term sextortion, but I didn't know what that meant really and how it was affecting so many teens and has been like, oh my goodness, crazy, the amount of sextortion that goes on. And so it was uh, the company One Rescue,
One
uh,
Rescue. Hmm.
that funded the project. And it just talks about the dangers of sextortion, which is when a predator meets somebody young online and gets them to send pictures and then extorts them for money. And so what's happened is a lot of teens get caught in this, and then the predator asks for money. The teens can't pay it, and there's been a huge rise in the amount of suicides that have taken place because of sextortion. So that's where this organization came in and did this video kind of as a tool for parents and teens to watch to kind of open that conversation. So parents can have that conversation with their teens that, look, this happens. And with AI now, it makes it so easy for them to create a fake account and a fake person, a fake persona, and have these conversations. And it seems so realistic to these teens, and they have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I get those spam texts like maybe once or twice a week where it's, hey, I had this number stored in my phone, and who am I talking to? And I'm just like, after seeing that, I'm just like, just delete it real quick, right?
Yeah.
Not that I was chatting in the past, but like, it makes you really think, because that movie, and
Yeah.
we will certainly put a link to it on the website, if that's okay. But yeah, parents definitely need to see that, because it was certainly, yeah, a
Yeah.
touching
It's scary.
short
It's
film for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those topics you don't want to talk about and think that these things happen, but you can't be naive. Like, you need to educate your children and be educated yourself that these dangers are out there, you know? So,
Right. Absolutely.
unfortunately, but yeah, I love that. They just came out with a trailer this past week. Even though we released it, earlier this year, the
Right.
organization just posted a trailer and the link on their website. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll post a link to that.
Um,
And so, of course, this podcast is about missing the shift. And I love it because Tanya thought that was about missing a shift. And I'm like, no, it's actually about it's actually about mistakes. And so, um, what advice? Because you're kind of like me, you learn from your mistakes, you develop from them, and there's rarely a time where you want to change your past because you think, okay, if I change it, I don't know where I would be today. And so, how do you, yeah, so what advice would you give? Like, what's one of the biggest things that you've missed the shift on, or one of the biggest mistakes, and how'd you overcome it? And yeah.
So I think you said it so well, about you can't really dwell on if you've made mistakes or, living thinking that you've missed the shift, in my opinion, because every mistake that I've made, and I've made so many mistakes along the way, has shaped me to who I am today. And if I wouldn't have made those mistakes, I wouldn't be who I am and I wouldn't be the person I am or where I am today. I think as far as acting, I mean, I feel like I'm just hitting my peak and I'm pretty old. Like, I feel like that's something that I could have done a lot earlier and pursued earlier in life, but because my priorities were different and I had young children at home, I kind of pushed that aside, and so I wasn't pursuing my passion like I wanted to. Um, but I can't feel like that was a mistake or I'd be further in my career if I would have, jumped on that ship earlier, because I enjoyed being a mother and being home. And so, like, every decision I've made and where I am today, even though for me it's been a slow journey, I'm very grateful for. And I have turned down a lot of great roles and amazing roles along the way, but I don't I don't regret those or live, thinking like, "Oh, I missed the shift," because I don't know, I wouldn't be the
Yeah.
person I am today, if that makes sense.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's kind of a hard question because I feel like I more embrace the mistakes. Not really mistakes, but embrace, like, the decisions that I've made.
Hmm.
And then
So
I've just enjoyed.
yeah, your advice is you're going to make mistakes and just learn and go with them.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
do. And you have to, be okay knowing you're human. You make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
But just learn from it. Take, that experience and grow from it and become better from it. And then that just shapes who you are.
I love it. And so, with all the traveling that you do, how do you maintain or attribute success in your personal life? Because, I just saw that you celebrated your 27th wedding anniversary. And so, how do you attribute, success to that? I mean, that's rare in the entertainment industry to even see that, because of all the stresses and traveling and all of that. So how do you, attribute that success?
I attribute it to the support I have at home. Not just my immediate family, but my extended family. And it's just kind of been like, it takes a village because everybody has helped. And it's just been a journey for all of us. And like I said, when I could have pursued things more than I could have pursued things more earlier on, I chose not to because I wanted to be home and be there for my kids.
Mhm.
But I think now because my kids are grown and two of them aren't even at home anymore, my baby is going to be 18 in December. That now I feel I can do all this traveling, and I do travel a lot, but I don't have little ones at home. So I feel like, my time raising them was, my time that I needed then. And now it's a different time in my life. And it's like I can live more for me now because it's not
Right.
necessarily for my children. Because I'm not a taxi anymore. I'm not like the PTA mom and the soccer mom,
Right.
like
Yeah.
those things
Hmm.
I'm not needed like I was because my children are grown. So now I feel like I'm doing something for myself and I don't feel guilty. So I think just the balance and the timing has has been good, but my family has always supported my journey. And even though it is time away from home, like I said, I don't have the kids that need me at home like they did. So I don't really feel guilty and I have, the support of when I travel. And they see like, my whole life I've done things for them that it's like
Right.
now they're supporting like, you go and do this and let us support you. So it's like reverse roles. But
Yeah.
definitely if
And
I didn't have the family to support, then I couldn't do what I do for
yeah, and you
sure.
see some of the
Yeah.
ones now, I mean, that started when they were younger, kind of left the industry. I mean, who was it? Gwyneth Paltrow left the industry for a little while to raise her kids and just now came back when they got older. So, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It's just timing and support.
Yeah. Awesome. And so let's talk about your film you just did, your award-winning film, Revelations. It was a feature film that you and your production company collaborated with
Yeah.
RMD and his production company in Nigeria. And so it's an international collaboration with Nollywood. Tell us about that process. Tell us how that even came about.
So, first of all, for those who don't know, Nollywood is Nigerian Hollywood. So, it's a term used, it kind of encompasses all filming in Africa. They say Nollywood filming because that's kind of the hub, the headquarters of filming there. So, I met RMD. His name is Richard Mofe Damijo, but he goes lovingly by RMD, which is easier for people to pronounce.
Right.
Um, we met on a set in 2021. We did a movie, Christmas in Miami. And then we just remained good friends and we just knew we wanted to work together again. We'd always say, one day we're going to do a project together. And he called me and he wanted to do his first US production. He owns a production company in Nigeria and he's a longtime, actor producer, but this was his first US production. So he called and said, let's collaborate. So
Hmm.
that's when I had to open Queen Tutt Productions because if we were going to film here in the US, it just made it easier for filming than trying to run like finances through a company
Right.
overseas. And so to do it here and taxes and legally and all the paper, it just made things easy. So I opened Queen Tutt Productions in preparation for that film. So that's kind of how that was birthed.
Awesome. And so tell us about the film. I mean, it's won multiple awards. You
Yeah.
just got back what 2-3 weeks from Nigeria for the red carpet premiere, and
Yes.
I know when you were over there, you were whisking. I mean, radio and television, and so tell us about that. I mean, that had to be pretty cool.
Oh, it is so fun. I love Nigeria. Like I tell you, my heart is in Nigeria. Every time I go, I feel so welcomed and loved and just the people there are so amazing and the food and just everything about it I absolutely love. The media tour was so fun. Um, every day we were doing TV or radio or podcasts, whatever, just there promoting our film.
Hmm.
So it was good. We did the big red carpet and then we released nationwide in theaters throughout Nigeria and Ghana.
Awesome. And so, what's next for the film? Is it, I mean, going to streaming platforms here in the U.S., or can you say that, or is that kind of secret?
I wish I had an answer because I don't
Uh,
really even know. So
right.
it just is wrapping up its theatrical run. And then we're in talks. We have distributors who are in talks with different streaming platforms. And so we're just seeing what our best offer will be and we'll
Hmm.
push it to streaming. So hopefully soon it will be available. I don't know what platform yet,
Hmm.
but hopefully soon it'll be available for streaming so people here can see it. Because that's the hard thing is we filmed it here in Utah. Well, we filmed a portion of it in Lagos, Nigeria, but the
Hmm.
majority was filmed here. So all of the actors and everybody who was a part of it, my cast and crew, they haven't been able to see it in the US. So
Right. Oh,
everybody's
okay.
just been so anxiously awaiting. And we filmed it a year and a half ago. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
people
awesome.
text me every day, like, when can I see this? I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I mean, as you know, filming is such a long process between, pre-production, production, post. Like, it can be years, and people don't realize the amount of time that goes into these projects and, from beginning to end.
Oh,
It's not quick.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think my first one, the first script I ever wrote 3 years ago is now, yeah, on the desk of some production companies and stuff like that. And somebody
Yeah.
asked me, they're like, 3 years ago you wrote that? And I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. Sometimes that's
You
how long it
don't
takes.
know.
Yeah.
I have a Halloween movie that just released this week. We
Hmm.
filmed that 3 or 4 years ago. It just
Yeah.
barely released. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a long process, but soon it's gonna be soon.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder how Hallmark and all those GAC they do it, they film a Christmas movie in June and then it's out in December. It's
I
just
know,
like,
right?
when was it written, how in the world do y'all do it? But, they've got it
Yeah.
down pat. So yeah. But big feature films, of course, absolutely. Um well, that's great. So we understand. Well, I understand. You also have a few other collaborations that you're filming, Utah, Nigeria. Can
Mm-hmm.
you share what's next? What's coming, or is that
Yes,
secret?
I
Or
can. No,
you can?
I
Okay.
will share with you.
All
So
right.
we filmed a Pentecostal church film here in Utah, an African Pentecostal church film in Utah, which is so random to
Hmm.
do here in Utah, but it was so beautiful and so fun. We filmed that in June, and that actually will be releasing probably in the next few months.
Awesome.
That
Okay.
Yeah. So that one, because it's made for this church's website for
Hmm.
fellowshipping and outreach. So since it's going to their church platform and not like a theatrical release or streaming, then it's a quicker process. But that will be coming out soon. It's called The Present Help, and it's such a cute faith-based family film. Just one of those like feel good. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I've seen a couple edits, and I'm really happy with it. So we filmed that. And then we filmed a portion of another film. This one's going to be another Nollywood feature film. It's called Lost in Lagos. And we filmed all the Utah scenes in June as well. And then we will finish the rest of the film in Lagos, Nigeria in 2026.
Awesome. And is that going to be released in 26 or
Uh-huh.
27, 26?
26.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're also, I forgot to ask that earlier. You're also a music video producer too.
I have done music videos. Yes.
Yeah, I love that story of the music video. And so, yeah. So if you're not
Yeah.
familiar, yes, there was a music song that was written for Revelations. It's an award-winning song. And yeah, Tanya put together the music video in what, a day, right? Or
Yeah, it was
less.
crazy. Yeah, Alex Boye and I, we were on
There we go.
a morning news show, and then after the show, he was like, "We should do a music video." I was like, "Okay." He's like today." So I made some phone calls, and literally within hours, we had the leather. You've seen the video,
Oh
like
yeah,
all
it's a
the
great video.
attire. We had all
Absolutely.
the four-wheelers, the truck, like everything just came together, and we filmed it that day, and we had our movie premiere that night, so it wasn't even a full day,
Right.
but it's such a good video. And I
That
think,
is a great
yeah,
video. Absolutely.
it
Yes.
was just like
We'll
our
put a link up.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
African Cowboy, it's a beautiful song. I loved it.
That's awesome. All right. And so what advice would you give someone starting or looking to start their career in the entertainment industry today? Because I know when I started 3 years ago, so my story was kind of I just started after the death of my father, was writing, and next thing you know, I'm where I am today. And I will tell you, one of the biggest things that is the lack of response. And I'm sure they get overwhelmed, but like, what advice would you give? Because like that's one of the biggest things that I've heard is nobody responds, and some actors and actresses just can't they don't understand that. And so what advice would you give someone starting out, especially if they're not hearing from anybody?
Well, first of all, you don't ever give up and just know that you're not going to get responses. But that's part of the industry. Like, I am a casting director as well. Like, I do all my own casting, and I don't always email back every person who submits. I don't have time to send hundreds of emails, where I just don't. So if you hear from me, great. If you don't, it's just a business. I try. Honestly, I try to be good at responding, but I'm guilty of it too. So you just have to know that's part of the industry. But people ask me all the time, how do I get started? And my advice is this: you need to have a good headshot. First and foremost, get a good headshot. And you need to have some sort of demo reel or show reel. Because when I put out these casting calls, I get people all the time, oh, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. Okay, great. What have you done? Well, if they don't have anything they've done, make a reel. It doesn't have to be like a paid project you've been a part of. Do a monologue, record it, make a reel. And so put together something, because if people can't see your potential talent or your talent, then you're already not going to be a candidate. People
Hmm.
all the time will send me, like, I want to be a part of this, or will you cast me in this? Well, you got to show me what you've done. So I think a lot of people, if they don't have a reel with actual commercials or TV or movie that they've done, they don't realize they can put together a reel that can be just as impactful, but we have to see what you can do. So I always tell people, get a good headshot, get a good reel, because no casting director is even going to look at you just by you sending an email, because the
Yeah.
amount of submissions we get, like, we don't, I don't have time to sit and fish and, like, just show me what you can do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Oh,
put
yeah, that
together
was one of the
something.
things that was one of the things that I could kick myself about, because like I did think about acting when I was about 4 years ago. I mean, it's been every kid wants to act, or or
Yeah.
and so, and all the commercials that we did back in the day on radio and television that I did for the automobile industry when I did them for my father's dealership and mine can't be found, because they were in the 80s and 90s. And so or
Oh,
the
yeah.
90s, sorry, not 80s, 90s. And so they can't be found. And we did some pretty crazy things. Like when Survivor came out, we put a truck in the woods and I was jumping in and out of the back of the truck acting like a survivor. And I remember it because I said the tribe has spoken on the competition, but
Oh,
I
that's
can't
funny.
find any of it. Like we can't find any of it.
But,
And
like,
I tried,
you
yeah.
can recreate that. Like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to put together a reel and you had a good concept, go record it. Like,
Mhm.
we just need to see that you can act. We need to see, your presence on camera. So I always tell people, like, if you don't have a headshot and you don't have a reel, don't even bother submitting. I know that sounds cold, but you
No,
know,
that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And I see a lot of people, there's some websites that I follow, local casting. Sometimes people will post that they're doing like demo reel material filming that day. Like, they set
Mhm.
up scenes and scenarios, and they have characters, and they create content for these reels. So if you're serious about acting, then be serious and put together a reel, get a good headshot. And when I say a good headshot, like, don't use crazy filters. Don't use a picture from 20 years ago, because
Mhm.
so many times, like, I see pictures in casting calls, and then you see this person in real life and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even close. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, a lot of times you'll see in casting calls, it'll say, like, "Hey, send your headshot, send a recent picture or a snapshot." Like, they want you headshot and what do you look like today, this minute?
Right. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, and one thing too that popped in my mind that I would give advice to, because we have people reach out to me too as far as productions, and they'll put like one or two lines, and that's it. And then another thing too is when you throw in like just a link to something, I mean, there's too many viruses that you have to
yeah.
craft an email that actually doesn't scare somebody into thinking it's a virus. And as soon as I click on that, because I've had one, yeah, they sent me and they said, here's here's, so and so, and it's just a link, and I'm like, I'm not clicking on it, no. And
Yeah.
so yeah, and
Make
then
it
I've
easy. Yes, like
yeah.
put your headshots, put your and like I know a lot of people, especially when they're just starting, they don't have an IMDb account, but like if you have a link like an IMDb link, that's helpful, and you can put your reels on IMDb so you don't have all of these links to click on, that it's just like in one spot. Because that's kind of
Hmm.
like a resume of all your projects, and you can even list, your award. I mean, you know how IMDb goes, but
Yeah.
that's always a good, and people can create free accounts, just you have to put effort into building yourself up. And
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
want to pursue it, then you have to put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely great advice. And so how are you giving back? Like how do you give back? So is there any charity out there that you give back to, or we've had some people on the show during season 1 that they were teaching at the local theater or whatever. So how does Tanya give back?
So I am involved with a lot of different community organizations. One in particular that I absolutely love, it's called Young Caring for Our Young. And it's with my husband works for the Young Automotive Dealership. And so
Oh, okay.
this organization, we get together and we do pantry packs for the schools, which are, children, they go to school and they can eat meals, but like when they go home on the weekends, they don't have food to get through the weekend. So they can grab these like pantry packs,
Mhm.
from their school. So it's actually like a backpack that the school gives them to take home all the meals for the weekend to get them through. So we get together and we put together these. We do a project in Mexico. We've done it for years, and we go and do school supplies and backpacks for underprivileged children there. So I have been very involved with Young Caring for Our Young and that foundation. And then, through my church, we do a lot of service. I have been involved in another organization for, oh my goodness, it was a good, like, volunteered a good 15 years of my life. Now with my business and what I'm doing now, I haven't been as involved, but it's called Utah Share, where we go and we help families who have lost children. And we go to the hospital
Oh,
and do hand and foot molds, and we'll
yeah.
dress their baby and provide keepsakes. And so
Ooh.
being a part of that organization. But giving back has always been something that I have been very passionate about, because I feel like
Mhm.
if you're blessed in this life and you're not, giving back and helping other people, then shame on you. Like I
Yeah,
just feel like it's like
absolutely.
our
Right.
responsibility,
Yeah.
to give back and to help. And so any chance, I get, I just the like a couple days ago, my business partner that I filmed Lost in Lagos with and Ever Present Help messaged me, and he said, I'm doing a project in Africa. It was with school children. How can you help? I'm like, great, let me jump on board, let me help. And
Mhm.
so anytime I can, whether it be financially if I can, or, with my time, then I'll always, jump in and help where I can.
That's awesome. Now, is that where the Delta State Girl Child Ambassador came in? Or is that something
Kind of.
different, or is it kinda?
So that was fun. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
brought to Nigeria. It was one of my trips in 2023, and was made Delta Girls State Child Ambassador. And that was just kind of like, well, it was fun. They presented me with an award, and
Mhm.
um, just being like a role model for teenagers and helping shape their lives, and just being an advocate of like making good decisions. And it was so beautiful and so amazing to go and be a part of that. And so
That's
just
awesome.
blessed. Yeah.
That is amazing. And so any last pieces of advice you wanna give out there, or tell people where they can find you or how they can find you? Or I know we'll put some links up on our website, but anything else you wanna add?
um, don't give up on your dreams. And you can find me. I'm actually quite easy to find. Instagram, Tutt Price, or Queen Tutt Productions, Facebook, TikTok. Not good on Twitter for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. I'm out there. You can
Yeah,
find me.
now I gotta ask you, where did the Queen Tut come from? Where
I'm
did that
Black glad you asked because
I
I,
was. Yeah, where did that come from? I've
I
always
always
wondered that when
feel,
I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, I always feel like people think I'm a self-proclaimed queen, like I am the queen. No, not at all. So when when I was born, my older brother was 2 years old, and he couldn't say Tanya. He would say Tut Tut. And so then it
Hmm.
just shortened to Tut. So since I was born, my name's been Tut. So family, friends, everybody, that's what they call me. Like my nieces and nephews, nobody calls me
Right.
Tanya. It's just Tut Tut.
Hmm.
And then I don't know where Queen Tut came from, probably because there's King Tut. You know, my name was Tut, so that was just, something. So I've always been just Queen Tut. But it wasn't like a self-proclaimed, like I gave myself that title.
Yeah, no,
I
I
I
didn't
was
think that.
born.
I knew it had to come from somewhere, and I just was like, I'd been
Yeah.
meaning to ask you before, and even when you were down during the festival, and I
Yeah.
was just like, and I forgot, and I was just like, I was going to just ask you where it came from.
Yeah, I think
So
it's cute that my older brother, it was just he couldn't say my name and it was just Tut.
yeah,
So just said the
yeah,
Tut. And then when I opened up my production company, I couldn't think of a good name. So it was just like, well, Queen Tut, that's my name. So
yeah. And there's so many production companies out there that you
right. Yeah. And to find one,
never
and yes,
know.
there wasn't any
Yeah,
Queen Tut. So I embraced that name just because it's cute and it came from my older brother. And it's just, something that like lovingly friends and family have called me
yeah.
forever.
Because when I first started, mine was called Infinity Media, and
Oh, okay.
I had a woman who Jackie Smith. She's an actress out of Florida, and she came and she said, "There's just they'll never find you because there's just so many infinities." And so she's like, you never sleep though, so you never see the sun and moon just run together for you because you're always writing, you're always up and stuff. And so she's like, you should call it Moonless. And I'm like, okay. And I'll always give her accolades because it was her thought. But yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
mean, you
I
got
love
to
it. And
come up
there's
with
not another
something
Moonless.
right. You got to come up with something that's not, you know,
Yeah, it's
gonna be,
original. So,
yeah.
but
It's
that's
kind
the
of
story.
like
I'm
with
glad you asked.
Yeah, it's kind of like with films. You go in there. When I think of a title, the first thing I do is look in IMDb and see if there's one out there because
Hmm.
the worst thing you want is to be a film that's number five, and and going up
Yeah,
against Julia Roberts or somebody like that, knowing their
right.
film's always going to be yeah. So I like that. I love that. That's original. That's where it came from. That's where the
Yep.
best ones. Absolutely. Well, Tanya, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on
for
the show
having me.
today. Yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, any filming coming up soon?
Um, well, Lost in Lagos, but I have a couple months just to enjoy, and I'm just getting ready to travel to another film festival here. You know me, I don't stay put very long.
Yeah, and I almost reached out to you about another one, but you're going to be gone. So yeah. So, but
But I
anyway,
tell you, I have to be busy. Like
yeah, I know. I
I
was
get
thinking that when
anxiety
you
and
said I'm going to be down for 2 months, I'm like, no, 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 she's not. So yeah,
no. I'm
yeah,
sure I'll find something. Like if something pops up, then it's like, yep, I'm there. Because I do.
absolutely.
I like to stay busy and I love doing what I'm doing. And as long as I am given opportunities to continue doing what I'm doing and what I love, then I got to take it.
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
getting old.
Tanya,
I got to enjoy it while I can.
you are not. Get out of here.
I am
Anyway,
making them.
yeah. Well, Tanya, thank you so much for being on the show.
You
I
too.
appreciate it. And we'll talk soon.
Okay.